The year 1970 saw the dawning of what would become the beacon of global excellence, lasting inspiration, and powerful innovations. North of the Philippines, birth of the Lorma colleges. 50 years of colorful history is marked by the rise of holistic and career-relevant academic programs that have produced notable professionals in various fields of healthcare, business, education, and technology.
As an educator, I strongly believe that learning should continue. It should not stop amidst any pandemic. With the ongoing pandemic worldwide, the College of Education and Sciences that houses the programs in Bachelor and Secondary Education, major in English, Math and Science, and Bachelor of Arts in Psychology is committed in providing learning opportunities and experiences to all our students through our flexible online learning.
Our pharmacy program continues to transform after its transition into the new normal. While anchored to the vision and mission of Lorma, the College of Pharmacy takes on the challenge to innovate, to provide quality education and training to all future pharmacy leaders amidst these challenging times.
What is medical technology? It is a profession that deals with the analysis of body fluids and tissues for the purpose of diagnosis of disease. In this time of pandemic caused by the COVID virus, the role of the medical laboratory scientists become most appreciated as we are the only ones performing that very sophisticated PCR method to detect the COVID viral antigen and the antibodies developed against them.
Lorma College of Nursing is proactively addressing this learning crisis. It has devised the LOLS, or the Lorma College of Nursing online learning system, with detailed instructional plans, expectations, and instructional strategies to assure continuous provision of satisfactory teaching learning activities to all student nurses despite the challenges of COVID-19 pandemic.
We at Lorma Colleges have been providing quality business education since 2009. We have been approved by the Commission on Higher Education and accredited by the Association of Christian Schools, Colleges and Universities Accrediting Council to offer the following programs. The College of Business is committed in providing ample trainings and industry exposure. We have continuously produced competitive students and graduates in the field of business.
The more than 20 years of experience in the academy convinced me to say that education should continue despite the many challenges that the world is facing today. It is for this reason that I commend Lorma Colleges for designing the flexible online learning to realize its vision of providing quality education to our students. All these are possible because of the commitment and dedication of the faculty and support staff of Lorma Colleges to provide the education that our students truly deserve.
Fun and memorable. Well, if it is me, I would like to associate the skills I will acquire with memories from my friends, classmates, seatmates, and teachers. Here in Lorma, you have all the opportunity and chance to do exactly like that. We have plenty of activities that will shape you into a skilled and holistic person. We have hackathons, robotic competitions, e-games, startup challenge programs. We have online media stations to showcase whatever talent you have.
This is the great time for all of us to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. And one thing that we must learn also is flex-on learning. We all know that flex-on learning could occur anywhere, anyhow, and anyway. It is an interaction between three elements: the institutional capacity or organizational framework, the trainer's capability, and learners' access to resources and technology. When these three elements are combined, it can lead to a learner-centered experience. To address these challenges and concerns, we at Skills Development Institute adopted a combination of different flexible learning modes.
With a dedicated commitment to ensuring quality education, the bachelor's degree in Radiologic Technology was established in 1987. Amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, the College of Radiologic Technology is adapting to the new normal of teaching and learning method so that we can continue to produce competent future radiologic technologies professionals who are just as qualified and skilled in the delivery of quality healthcare services.
Flexible Learning has taken a charge to educate our students. We realize the need for every learners to be given 100% support and guidance. The school will work to ensure that even online, the students will still have a memorable year through the online version of extracurricular activities to give each student the holistic experience, which is a hallmark of Lorma education.
Masters of Arts in Nursing has graduated nurses who are currently serving nursing education and nursing services in the country and abroad.
The MIS program is a full online course, which means you can take it at your own time and your own pace.
From roots to routes, from seeds to yields, from adaptations to new creations, Lorma Colleges never stood still. It kept propelling forward as a pioneer, a steward, and a trailblazer, ahead of the times.
Hi, my name is Alan Lau, and I welcome you to the Lorma College's 48th commencement ceremony. In a couple of minutes, we will be witnessing success that sparkle in the eyes of our students, coupled with great pride and joy. Despite this unprecedented pandemic, these students, together with their proud parents, were able to pull it through and made it to this day. Our passionate faculty members, staff, and administration are all with you in celebrating your achievements, our achievements. We know that this is not your dream graduation and that there will be no thrill, no lipsticks and makeups, no flowers, no saying goodbyes, no hugs, nor will there be any selfies or groupies. But certainly, you deserve all the congratulations, and that we offer you this virtual graduation that will remind you and each one of us that indeed we were able to conquer the difficult times of 2020.
Forgive us our debts as we forgive all who owe.
Let me begin this by saying that success is not always about winning a battle. It's having the sound spirit to stand and fight, the will to go on, and the determination to push through. Our fight might not end up declaring us winners. There are times we get wounded, succumb, and eventually lose. But believe me, with our sound spirit, we fight anyway, to the last straw of our strength. To me, that's the essence of success. It's fighting the good fight, it's keeping the faith, it's in rising and still standing tall after a fall. And today marks the day of our triumph. To our distinguished guest, our guest of honor and speaker, Mr. Jacus S. Nasis, Registered Medical Technologist, our dear President, Dr. Caroline R. Macagba, to our Executive Director for Academics, Dr. Pasita G. Apelado, and beloved members of the administration, respective deans and department heads of various colleges of Lorma colleges, and of the teaching and non-teaching staff. And most of all, dear parents, relatives, friends, schoolmates, fellow graduates, for which this occasion is meant for. Welcome to Lorma College's 2021 Commencement Exercises. It has been years when we excitedly explored the wide grounds of this institution and strode on its corridors with the promise to leave a distinct mark in its halls. We are all gathered in this special day to participate in the praise and wonder of our achievements. The road we took for our feet to reach this stage is not a smooth one. Bumps, cracks, obstacles made our journey rocky. But it is always the rough roads that led us to the heights of greatness. More than anything, this pandemic has taught us that tomorrow is never promised. The pandemic made everything appear hazy. And in the past months, it looked like we were caught up in an endless circle. I honestly almost gave up the dream of seeing us all cloaked in our black togas. But we owe it to our honorable institution, Lorma Colleges, for giving us this opportunity of a lifetime. Now, we have forged our own paths. We have made our choices, and we have learned from our mistakes. But the truth is, we did not go through all of this on our own. We surrendered our ignorance to the willing hands of our instructors and professors. While we were engrossed about our personal challenges and lives, our instructors and professors knew we needed some guidance. Actually, a lot of guidance, patiently molding and guiding us in our journey. And now, finally seeing some illumination of reason and clarity of purpose as we set sail for yet another journey, the real venture of life. It is our professors who have taught us to capitalize on our strengths, have some space for reflection, and to put a period to our conflicts. To our dear administrators, professors, training officers, and staff in the various hospital laboratories we were assigned to, thank you for sharing your time and life to us. Thank you for the lessons we learned, for the experience we underwent, and for the relationships formed. In the manyness of the students who come and go in the portals of this institution, many of you will forget. But for us, we will always be reminded of the good things you have done for us. And soon, we'll be successful professionals and citizens of the earth. But we will remain to be young and vibrant in spirit, naive and unassuming, and with innocent minds, but now more open and mature. On top of that, we stand strong amidst the tough times because we have allies who stood by us. We have forged special friendships. We made a good orchestra, though we come from different backgrounds with different personalities playing different instruments. We played a euphonic rhythm of oneness and camaraderie. You have shared with me meals of laughter, and we have tasted concoction of sorrows and joys. Friends, thank you for truckloads of good times, bad times, and great experiences. And how can I forget to mention our dear parents, our families? We offer our heartfelt thanks and gratitude for your undaunted sacrifices and unwavering patience. To our parents, who we run to whenever we get wounded in our battles, who would always say, "I believe in you, you can do it." Thank you for your unconditional love. We hope we made you proud. To the great author of life, thank you, Lord, for leading us down this road. Everything that happened in the past years was part of your divine plan. Every day, we continue to be amazed by your wonders. You have blessed us with good families, good mentors, good friends who stood by us in our journey. Every language in the world has a way of saying thank you. The sense of gratitude is triggered and expressed spontaneously in a variety of different contexts. Salamat, agyamanak, gracias, kamsahamnida, shukran. However said, it crosses all boundaries. Race, creed, age, vocation, gender, and beliefs. Let me deliver my thank you in a language spoken and understood by many. Thank you for the lessons learned. Thank you for the experience. Thank you for the challenges. It was one good fight you have taught us. We express our genuine appreciation for paving the road towards a successful journey, for lighting the paths towards a safe passage, and for steering our focus to reach this far. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you very much. And of course, much of what we have become now, we owe it to Lorma Colleges. Lorma Colleges has made me. Lorma Colleges has made us. And today, we have triumphed. We are ready to live and explore reality, the outside world. This triumph would not be meaningful without sharing this to you all. To all of you who believed in us, welcome and thank you for sharing this momentous event of our journey. Congratulations to all of us fellow graduates, and now, it is time for us to enter the threshold of life.
Beloved President of Lorma Colleges, Dr. Caroline R. Macagba, Executive Director for Academics, Dr. Pasita G. Apilado, Deans of the various colleges, Program Heads and Academic Coordinators, Department Heads of Support, Offices, the graduating class, parents, friends, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good morning. Today, we are honored with the presence of Mr. Jacus S. Nasis as our guest speaker in this commencement exercise for class 2020-2021. Mr. Nasis is presently a science research specialist at the Food and Nutrition Research Institute or FNRI in Bicutan, Taguig City. He is with this institution for about 10 years now. His line of 3 researches at the moment deal with nutrition genomics. His other studies and publications in both local and international journals run quite a number, dealing with nutrition genomics, gut microbiome, obesity and metabolism, micronutrient deficiency, DNA damage and toxicity, and strategic management in healthcare. An interesting topic he worked on in 2020 was on DNA damage biomarkers in mother-newborn pairs of the Aruga cohort. His diligence and discipline in research have been honored and recognized. Having been awarded the DOST International Publication Award in 2017-2018. Accordingly, other awards and recognition were given him from his institution. Mr. Nasis is an engaging presenter or speaker in seminars and conferences in various places in the Philippines and abroad, like in Peru, Japan, and South Korea. An example, in 2016, he presented the primer Strategies to Address Non-Communicable Diseases Through Science, Technology, and Innovation through the Nutrigenomics Approach at the Senior Officials Meeting 2 of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation or APEC in Peru. Here in Lorma, we have had an experience with him when he came last year, actually in February 2020, during celebration of Lorma's 50th foundation anniversary. He came and spoke on genomic technologies in research and clinical diagnosis for the CMLS faculty and students. You probably were in his audience then, MLS graduates. As a true scholar and professional, he is currently engaged with 5 professional organizations. Example, he is a member of the editorial advisory board of the Asia-Pacific Journal of Clinical Nutrition. He is also the country representative to the Asia-Pacific Nutritionomics and Nutrigenetics Organization. Mr. Nasis is a true Lormanian who graduated with a bachelor's degree in medical technology in 2005. During that time, he was a national finalist in the search for 10 outstanding students of the Philippines. In 2013, he earned a diploma in Research and Development Management from the University of the Philippines, Open University. Recently, in 2019, he finished his master's degree in Business Administration, specializing in health from Ateneo de Manila University. He is on his academics for his PhD at the moment. On a personal note, I met Mr. Nasis during the first PAMET National Laboratory Management Congress at Crown Plaza, Quezon City, sometime in 2019. It happened that his colleague at FNRI mentioned that I am now with Lorma Colleges. Timidly, he approached me and introduced himself. After animated pleasantries, he mentioned that he is willing to come to speak to MLS students if there would be an opportunity. That struck me that there are these Lormanians who want to pay back and be service to their alma mater, no matter where they are now. Such magnanimous act with humility. It is indeed heartwarming that we have Mr. Nasis today to give inspiration and motivation to our graduating students. Diyos ti agnina kinyayo, sir, may tantanok ti Lorma ti naggapgapwanan nyo. Mr. Nasis hails from Bacnotan, La Union. The honor is mine to introduce to you our guest speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Mr. Jacus S. Nasis, a registered medical technologist.
While I am preparing for this talk, I felt that it is mandatory that I have to think of a college day anecdote, because even though every single day of my stay at Lorma was memorable, but this one is very relevant with the way how I outlined my message this morning. The year was 2001, and it was the first meeting for the philosophy of man under Miss Edna Evangelista. She instructed us to prepare a short essay about our vision in life by comparing it with the things around us. Since I was then fresh from high school, I tended to be playful with my ideas. And in that essay, I compared life with a steaming hot coffee, a beverage that is indulgent yet limited, enjoyable but cautious, tentative, perhaps full of surprises, sweet, but the reality, it's bitter. Even with the right blend of coffee, sugar, or at times with a creamer or milk, this steaming beverage will eventually lose its warmth and in no time will dramatically falter and lose its essence. That was life for me 20 years ago, and still, that is how I see life. Dr. Caroline Macagba, President of Lorma Colleges, Ma'am. Dr. Pasita Apilado, Executive Director for Academics, College Deans, Department Heads, Program Coordinators, and Program Heads, and of course, the most important personalities in this virtual crowd, the graduates and their equally proud parents, friends, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant morning to all. I know we are all feeling a bit weird right now. We tend to associate a commencement speech with a speaker struggling to keep his relevance while standing on a podium. And at times, he or she struggles to keep his notes intact, protecting the copy of his speech from the inconsiderate blow of a fan. But what we have now, for me, is quite surreal. I would prefer rekindling my bond with Lorma in flesh, offering a warm handshake with my mentors, with my former advisors, with the current administration or management of the college, with the handshake as this speech ends. We'll stay for a while to have a chit chat with my former mentors. And I would love to experience Putot once more and sing the Lorma hymn once again. But sadly, COVID 19 made it very impossible for us to aspire for more. This pandemic made touching impossible, made us aspire na sana we have expressive eyes because no one can notice if we are smiling because it is being shielded by a face mask. The world that we once know is not actually the world that we have now. And COVID 19 is one of the biggest challenges our generation has faced. But optimist as I am, I would like to direct your attention to this wonderful day as one of the positive things we can attribute to the negativity of this pandemic. After all, sabi nga nila, the Filipino race is the epitome of resilience, and I do subscribe to that. And look, Lorma just kept the strings together and made it sure that you'll get to this day no matter what. Our beloved alma mater is opening its exit doors to all of you who came with immense desire to feed on her chest of knowledge. May pandemic man o wala, your mentors made sure that as you leave, you are filled with knowledge, you are satisfied, you are ready to face the world and be the armies to facilitate the healing of the world. I assume you will agree with me if I say that Lorma is, in its essence, a frontliner in its own right. This institution is a molder of healers, a role that had been defined more intensely with the current state of the world. Well, modesty aside, please allow me to use my own experience to cite an example. As a proud Lormanian, I am happy to say that my medical technology education landed me in a very important role in the COVID 19 trial that the Department of Science and Technology spearheaded recently. My team was instrumental in ruling out the emerging role of the virgin coconut oil and reducing the symptomatology of COVID 19. With all modesty, I would like to share and extend the same accolade to all the doctors, nurses, medical technologists, physical therapists, pharmacists, radiologic technologists, respiratory therapists, and all other healthcare professionals that were honed and molded by this institution to be the best, a healthcare professional with the true heart of Lormanian. I was told to play two important roles this morning. One is to consume your bandwidth, and the other is to prolong your time sitting until this speech is over. But, kidding aside, I am expected to narrate some pieces of myself and to leave words of inspiration. I would have wanted to deliver this speech after having the courage to call myself inspirational. Kaya lang naisip ko, this chance may not come again. So, I had to convince myself that being an inspiration is not about the years of struggle or having a more dramatic story to tell, but it is about the audacity to be true and bold, no matter how short or irrelevant your story might be. As a start, I would like to introduce myself because many times hearing my mispronounced name has a more dramatic effect than the last scenes of crash landing on you. My name is Jaycus Sabado Nasis. My name used to be spelled as Jaycus. Jaycus. My former mentors who are with us today can actually attest to that pronunciation. I learned about the current spelling of my name when I'm about to take the board exams. Kasi naman noon, hindi pa naman uso ang birth certificate kapag nag enroll sa school. I decided to stick to that real spelling to save time and money. Sabi ko naman, spelling lang yan, and sooner or later, let the name speak for itself. I earned my BS Medical Technology degree from Lorma in 2005. I worked as a lab aide in ITRMC for 2 years. I joined Lorma Medical Center in 2008. And in 2010, I became a public health researcher. My research interest is in public health nutrition, and I'm one of the pioneering researchers in the field of genomics in the Philippines. Interestingly, I never dreamt of being a Lorma alumni. It was a distant dream for me. The reason was very simple. My family had no means to send me to this great institution. 2 years before entering college, my mother passed away because of cervical cancer. Mahirap na kami nung nabubuhay pa siya, and poverty became more intense after she left us. We have to pay the hospital bills, we have to settle our debts, and the four of us, her children, need to go to school. Anyway, hindi naman bago sa akin ang kahirapan. Poverty has been a way of life, and being poor was more of a lifestyle than a social status for me. At a young age, life has given me all these circumstances, so I had no choice but to accept it, live with it, and be with it every single day. As the eldest, I took the responsibility to look after my siblings because one of my most important roles since Inang passed away is to look after them. Along with the pains of healing from the passing of my mother, I needed to feel numb and be mindful of my studies. Being with books and studying my lessons has been my escape from the real world. I started to finish high school at the top, and I made it because that is the only way for me to be assured that I can go to college. Hindi po health professional ang gusto ko pong maging nung bata ako. I dreamt of becoming a journalist or someone who works in the arena of advertising or communication. But because of financial constraints, I had to put off those dreams. There's a big difference between kaya ng utak sa kaya ng bulsa. That is a reality that is very hard to resolve. There came a time that I'm actually thinking about our financial struggle. I became appreciative of the real life training that my father had given me at an early age. I considered my fate and started to believe that I will spend a career carrying sacks of rice, to be a tobacco farmer, and contribute to society through the fruits of the land. After all, I don't see anything wrong with being a farmer. I was then ready to embrace it. Few days before leaving high school, a group of faculty members from Lorma colleges came to Dimso High School. They were doing a career orientation, and Mr. Charlie Cruz, now Dr. Charlie Cruz, entered our room. After saying his piece about his intention of disrupting our class, he distributed brochures, and the one that I got is the pamphlet for the College of Medical Technology. Admittedly, I didn't have any idea what medical technology was until that day. Before Sir Charlie left, he announced that he would love to give a tutorial on how to use the internet and create an email address to anyone who would want to avail it. His mobile number was written on the brochure, and I used that to contact him and inform him that I would love to have a short tutorial on how to use the internet. I had my first chance to set foot at Lorma during the tutorial the next Saturday. My first time to hold an actual computer was during that session with Sir Charlie. I was not sure if that was actually a business strategy of Lorma that time, but that was a good strategy because it gave me the impression that there was something about this school that I would like to experience up close. My father, of course, was hesitant when I told him of my intent to enroll at Lorma. Awan kwarta barok, sukunana. I was hopeless. But then, I bargained that the full scholarship that I will be getting as a result of being a valedictorian of the class would be a good leverage for me to have a slot and be working or studying at Lorma. I told him that I will do my best to maintain my standing and I will be able to finish college even if the money that he will give me is my transportation allowance. But, that has been the biggest risk my family had taken. My case as a BS Medtech student at Lorma Colleges was for me a charity case. It was such because the collective resources my family has became my support. My aunt went overseas to work as a domestic helper just to help me realize my dreams. Another aunt had to spare me a portion of her car mortgage. And there were times that even the tricycle drivers in our community would waive my fare. This collective effort is so humbling that I feel that I'm forever indebted to these people. I was not able to maintain my scholarship, unfortunately. Sadly, because my weakest link was algebra, and I failed to meet the standards because of my low grades in that subject. And so, when the Procter& Gamble scholarship opened during my second year in college, I worked hard to have it. I was able to secure the grant, and that helped me augment my finances. However, the scholarship grant was not enough to bring me to school every day. Being a medtech student was costly, and that's the reality. There were instances that I have to skip lunch just to save a fare for me to be able to go home after class. Our house is 2 kilometers away from the national road, so I spent years walking that span, even in the middle of the night, just to get home. A road with no street lights, kumakanta na lang ako just to divert my attention. Matatakotin po ako, but I have to fight it. Sad truth, but there were a lot of instances that I have to skip paying my fare, especially when I had to eat lunch because I was too hungry after a difficult exam. Pasimple, ijay likod ti jeep, bababa na lang pagkapara. Well, thinking about those days still make me cringe. I am not at all proud of those things that I did. But I am ready to make amends in case lang na may driver na maniningil sa akin after this speech. Thankfully, I finished medical technology amidst all those struggles. It was not an easy journey. The 4 years that I spent at Lorma was never a breeze, but worth it. My grandfather was not able to hide his disappointment when he learned that I graduated or that I'll be graduating without a Latin honor. I think he was used to seeing me on the stage at the top of my class consistently since grade 1. He said, no kumamatan ka mabisbisinan, ken puro eskwela, lahat ta kumamat, tikar ka ti panunot mon. napipiyak ko mamat nga umuli ni tatang mo di stage. What he meant was that if only my focus was just to study and not to think about where to get my allowance the next day or not to be bothered about what my siblings would eat for the next meal, I would have been able to finish college with flying colors. That time, however, I was thinking the opposite. What I had in mind is that I made it. Having a chance to wear a toga is more than enough. The nights of walking in the dark road with a hungry tummy are all worth it. Why am I sharing this? I want you to understand that there are things that we cannot choose, but there are options that we can make to change us for the better. 20 years have passed, and I am now spending more than 40 hours a week looking for answers to difficult questions no one dares to ask in their everyday lives. I am taking the toll to represent the hidden thoughts of those who dare to interrogate science or through inquiries on nutrition and health in general. Just like any other path that I've taken in the past, the journey towards being a researcher or a research scientist was remarkably tough. During my early days as a researcher, I can overhear people saying that I was not good enough because I was not a graduate of the top schools in the Philippines, but I beg to differ. After all, for me, Lorma is one of the best. And that I needed to be indebted to Lorma Medical Center and breach my contract just to join a research institution. My decision to be a researcher was never mounted on a soft pudding or a delectable blueberry cheesecake, but it was built on the claws of a crustacean that needed hammering just to get through. This is where I would like to begin my second goal for today, and that is to leave some words of inspiration. For my innate love for coffee, allow me to outline these words with the acronym SIP. Higop sa Tagalog. S for secure, I for indulge, and pray or prayer. Secure is synonymous with fixing, fastening or attaching something in a very, very firm way that it cannot be moved or lost. On a personal note, and since my view of the world is inductive, securing something should emanate from oneself. You must know yourself better than anyone does, but this is needed because this is the only way for you to know what you have and what you lack as a person. This way, you'll be aware of what you need to work on improving yourself or compensating for your deficiencies. You might be telling me, I just finished college and you are persuading me to be deep about life. No, that wouldn't be my intention. The fact that you attend school since the day you were able to recognize sounds and you can move your hands to write, you started securing your very own spot in the world. Learning and appreciating knowledge is a way of creating a firm foundation for the world you want to serve and explore. That is the paradox of it. You learn from the world to be a better citizen of that same world. And you subscribe to that paradox when you started grade school, you attended high school, and now you are a degree holder. And every single day of our lives, we are learning. In each of these discoveries we acquire each day, we need to collect the bolts and the nuts so we can secure ourselves. We learned our values from our parents and our families, and those were the best fasteners of who we are and who we can be. We added more layers as we interact with the world. With your forthcoming journey of getting your license and facing the real world as part of the working class, you need to secure your inherent values while attaching your learning. Working towards getting your license, for one, is a life-changing experience because it is a mix of pain and glory. Please choose both, not only glory. Pain or the hard part of being awake for most of the nights just to add that letter R after your name is one of the best ways to secure the best of your future self. Secure your relationships with your family and friends because they are the ones you'll return to in every failure and success. This might sound cliche, but real love and happiness begin at home. And you need to secure this if you want to remain resilient. Secure is the first one, indulge is the other. I is to indulge. Let me take indulgence from the context of gratifying and nourishing. In the future, after securing your spot as a working citizen of the world, there will come a time that you feel your growth is either hampered or accelerated. You feel sluggish growth when the world around you is not supportive of the things that you do. You feel the rapid change in your trajectory as a professional when almost anyone or everyone depends on you and your decisions. Too little trust or too much trust are both toxic. And you need indulgence to keep you at your feet. This might seem easy to say, of course, but you need to enjoy what the world can offer without sacrificing your responsibilities to it. We often hear the word YOLO. You only live once. And that is painfully true. I, for one, have felt that I was deprived most of my younger days. And although I still feel that I still lack a lot of things, I prefer to indulge with my own definition of success. Because success for some might mean a brand new house, 2 cars at the car park, vacation house, and 2 PhDs. For some, success is depicted in an Instagram-worthy vacation in Boracay, a shopping spree in Hong Kong, or a profile picture in front of the Eiffel Tower. Since I came from a family who enjoys sharing simple joys, having to sleep comfortably in my cushioned bed, an occasional pasta for dinner, and a weekend with a good book or a nice Netflix movie is my barometer for success. Any of those definitions are acceptable anyway. The bottom line is that success is relative. It is perspective dependent. And enjoying it after years of working for it is what shapes fulfillment for a man. I urge you to indulge and make a mark in your chosen path. There is no need to win a Nobel Prize or a national award for the things that you do. What I see as the most important thing is that you put your heart and soul in everything that you do and let the world experience the joys that you bring just being on its very face every single day. But on top of all these things, along with securing your future and imagining that you are enjoying the rewards of your future self, there is one greater being that you need to always put on the list. There might be some who don't believe that there is a higher being that created the world, which I respect. But praying or mumbling a silent petition to this great being is a way to create a cohesive, definitive future that is worth living. People may say that my field, science, is an antithesis of prayers. But no, I have a very strong conviction that I discovered things for science because I prayed. And I think there is not much that I would like to put in to create a discourse on why prayer is an important element. It is simply a way of assuring oneself that no matter what happens, be it a good day or you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, there is someone who is looking after you and guiding you from afar. And that for me is the best glue to secure a good future while indulging what the world can offer. So sip and enjoy life. Sip, secure, indulge, and pray. Today marks the end of a journey and the beginning of bigger yet exciting opportunities ahead. When I was called to deliver this message to the Lorma College's graduating class of 2021, I asked an odd question to Miss Josephine Milan. I said, "Mom, I would be happy to speak. But is my credential worthy enough to inspire?" And that question still hovers in my mind up to this very point. But as a relief, after 7 days of writing, revising, and finalizing this speech, it has given me an opportunity to look back and compare my young, struggling, and hungry self to this man speaking in front of you this morning, mindful of the things he says, with the receding hairline and looking more mature than his age. Time, experience, and cups of coffee in that blend have given me the wisdom to appreciate life the way I looked at it 20 years ago based on the essay that I wrote for Ma'am Edna Evangelista, to the life that I am now living and hope to live for many years. I do hope that one day someone from this class, from this batch, would have this once in a lifetime chance to look back and share what you have as a person to the future graduates of Lorma colleges. I aspire that when that day comes, that our dear alma mater will ask you to speak for its new graduates. I hope we share the same template. We thank our parents and families who believe in our potentials and sent us to school no matter what. We express our gratitude to our teachers and mentors who selflessly devoted their time to shape us in the best mold that we can be. And of course, praising His name for all the best things He provided the mind could imagine over. Thank you for this opportunity. This might not come again, and that makes this experience more humbling. Being cradled by Lorma was actually a risk for me and my family. But I believe it is worth it. It is really, really worth it. Lorma becomes bigger when a media personality or a scientist abroad will approach me and ask me, where did I graduate? I would not stutter when I say Lorma colleges. For every letter that I transcribe in the scientific papers that I publish, Lorma will be there. For every word that I utter as I convey the results of my research, or when I convince a panel to approve my research plan, Lorma will form a mist of my spoken word. The Lorma blood that was figuratively transfused when I came in 20 years ago was actually the foundation of who I am now. Thank you will not be enough, and I look forward to giving back in my little way. And if by now I will be asked to write an essay that would describe my vision about life, I would make just minor revisions from the ones that I wrote 2 decades ago. I would still highlight the best qualities of coffee as my representation of life. It's being transient and temporary, the joys it brings for some time, the aftertaste, and the fulfillment one would anticipate in the next cup. I would revise putting on a creamer because it might alter the real taste of it. I would want my next philosophical essay on coffee as a depiction of life to be as simple and plain as it is. Not much of adornment, but pleasant, important, and worth indulging. That, for me, is life in my years to come. Going back to our graduates, as the star of this event this morning, as a frustrated cook myself, I would like to end my address with the words of Andoni Luis Aduriz, a Spanish Michelin star, who once said, "The person's willpower is like water. Nothing can stop it. It will pass through mountains. It falls like a waterfall, but it always gets to the place it is supposed to get to." For 4 or 5 years, you trekked and had overcome a mountain. Now, you've reached the top. Enjoy the view. Perhaps take a deep breath. Prepare to descend. Recharge and start a new journey. Remember that your batch is a survivor of one of the darkest times of the world. Make it an inspiration by assuring yourself the next generation will not pass through this blurry moment of the world. Never again. Please promise. And of course, in these dark times, I am offering a toast and a sip. Secure, indulge in prayers. Thank you, congratulations, and keep safe.
To our guest of honor and speaker, Mr. Jesus S. Nasis, to our dear President, Dr. Caroline R. Macagba, to our Executive Director for Academics, Dr. Pasita G. Apelado, our respected deans and heads, our dear parents, good morning. I, together with the graduating class of 2021 of Lorma Colleges, would like to address this petition to Dr. Caroline R. Macagba, our President, through Dr. Pasita G. Apelado, our Executive Director for Academics. Whereas, the candidates are the future and Lorma Colleges as an educational institution played an important role having properly prepared and guided the students through the years of learning, helping the students succeed in achieving their dreams and goals. Whereas, the candidates through Lorma Colleges have provided direction, giving instruction and education of sufficient quality and quantity, and have undergone the resources and trials of educational training vital for our self-development and growth. And whereas, the candidates have formally finished and complied with all the basic and advanced requirements set forth by Lorma Colleges and other agencies, branches, and instrumentalities of the government pertaining to our education, which gave the candidates the opportunity to complete the graduation requirements intended to prepare for us for our chosen career, gainful employment, and citizenship. And whereas the candidates for graduation are more than equipped and possessed with the necessary physical, moral, spiritual, and educational standards and instructions to meet educational career goals. And whereas the students are now prepared to face life's challenges as matured citizens to our country and society and help in nation building. Whereas the candidates have completed the academic requirements of their respective degrees as provided by Lorma Colleges, the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, and the Commission on Higher Education. Therefore, it be resolved that Lorma Colleges confer us our respective degrees, that we as graduates perform our roles and duties to ourselves, our family, our society, and our country as useful and responsible citizens.
To our Executive Director for Academics, Dr. Pasita G. Apelado, may I have the honor to present to you 8 candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, 1 candidate for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Business Management, 5 candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Hotel and Restaurant Management, 5 candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Travel and Tours Management, 3 candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering, 10 candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, 38 candidates for the degree of Bachelor in Medical Laboratory Science, 1 candidate for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Respiratory Therapy, 1 candidate for the title Multimedia Arts, 2 candidates for the title Biomedical Electronics and Computer Servicing. I, as the Registrar of Lorma Colleges, certify that these 74 candidates for graduation
have satisfactorily completed all the requirements prescribed by the Commission on Higher Education, Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, and Lorma colleges. I therefore endorse for the acceptance that they may be granted with their certificates and diplomas and with their respective title and degrees. Director, they are now ready to accept their certificates and diplomas.
By the power vested in me as the Executive Director for Academics and the presentation made by Ms. Erani Hasmin, our college's registrar, that these 74 candidates for graduation have satisfactorily completed all the requirements of Lorma colleges, the Commission on Higher Education, and the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority. I hereby confirm their degrees and their titles, and they may now receive their respective diplomas and certificates and their transcript of record, and they may now enjoy the privileges appertaining thereto. Congratulations! Mabuhay!
Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates of Lorma Colleges,
College of Business, Garcia Frillian Peralta, San Juan, La Union. Moniz Maricel Lopez, Bangar, La Union. Padilla Zarina Hidalgo, Nagilian, La Union. Riliera Leslie Bustamante, Nagilian, La Union. Bangal James Elijah Pike, San Fernando City, La Union. Cartas Dominic Calum, Agoo, La Union. Domingo Janely Tadina, San Fernando City, La Union. Halog Janelen Santa Ana, Rosario, La Union. Madriaga Rolin Mapalo, Tubao, La Union. Belsa Drazen Dale Carino, Nagilian, La Union. Chi Wiesel Supang, Nagilian, La Union. Dumo Harris Angel Lavara, Tagudin, Ilocos Sur. Carganilla Nathalie Joy Notarte, Bacnotan, La Union. Torio Keithley Balanon, San Juan, La Union. Calajao Lois Jane Manalang, Bawang, La Union. Kamalig Michelle Joan de Guzman, Nagilian, La Union. Canete Angelica Maiv Opada, San Fernando City, La Union. Ichon Eliza Jane Sampaga, San Fernando City, La Union. Nisperos Army Jihan Dukusin, San Fernando City, La Union. College of Computer Studies and Engineering. Engineer Cyril Balikat Kabading, Bacnotan, La Union. Engineer Jerome Casem Ordonez, San Fernando City, La Union. Engineer Patrick Lawrence Aquino Rimando, Nagilian, La Union. Arcega Mark Anthony Tabafunda, Bacnotan, La Union. Berzabal Zairil Mendoza, Balawan, La Union. Calibuso Chelsea Marie Simeon, San Fernando City, La Union. Dumo Michael Hofana, San Fernando City, La Union. Macagba Grelen Joy Sorel, San Fernando City, La Union. Nisco Francis Joshua Cayabyab, Luna, La Union. Rimorin Adric Nemesis Estacio, Nagilian, La Union. Shrestha Prasana, Kathmandu, Nepal. Tadeha Braille Jacent Mateo, Bawang, La Union. Villanueva Mark Adrian Dave Bukat, Bacnotan, La Union. College of Medical Laboratory Science. Abalos Rene Katrina Dukusin, San Fernando City, La Union. Abat Yvonne Tricia May Ofiaza, Bacnotan, La Union. Abuan Dayan Kate Kalika, Bawang, La Union. Adukwu Augustine Damian, Abuja, Nigeria. Agasen Ave Jane Nisperos, Santo Tomas, La Union. Arunin Camille Bautista, San Fernando City, La Union. Balagat Jenica May Gamet, Lawag City, Ilocos Norte. Balanso Karen Libatique, San Fernando City, La Union. Balitsa Rosette Rivera, San Fernando City, La Union. Balasiw Lysel Joy Balanon, San Gabriel, La Union. Bano Villamar Sibalo, Lagangilang, Abra. Bowak Jofen Juan, Agoo, La Union. Booking Valerie Ponsoy, Burgos, Ilocos Sur. Carbonel Mark Angelo Mendoza, San Fernando City, La Union. Cordero Clara Bruno, La Paz, Tarlac. Dacumos Zedric Lawrence Serrano, San Fernando City, La Union. De Los Santos Ephraim Ryan Yalong, San Fernando City, La Union. Docalias Evelyn Gay Esilen, La Trinidad, Benguet. Domingo Trisha Evantonet Handugan, Rosario, La Union. Dumawa Chian Garcia, Galimuyod, Ilocos Sur. Duque Ara Mari Francisco, Galimuyod, Ilocos Sur. Estacio Vebs Tricinio, Agoo, La Union. Estepa Edison Rulyoda, Nagilian, La Union. Gaboro Lois Franchel Pangan, Bacnotan, La Union. King Victory Echezo Nachukwu, Enugu State, Nigeria. Liavore Patricia Bernice Marinas, Agoo, La Union. Nares Katrina Camille Sagun, Bacnotan, La Union. Ofor Samuel Chisom, Anambra State, Nigeria. Ogidan Samuel Olaniyi, Lagos State, Nigeria. Okeke Jane Ozioma, Nigeria. Pakleb Aliana Cheryl Paras, San Fernando City, La Union. Padilla Ara May Kagiwa, Bacnotan, La Union. Paragas Nick Aaron Aragon, San Fernando City, La Union. Ragasa Marie Nicole de Guzman, San Fernando City, La Union. Retuta Victor Lucas Hadormio, San Juan, La Union. Chu Zarina Aubrey Chua, San Fernando City, La Union. Tobias Giki Patrice Lam, Agoo, La Union. Valdez Janila Ross Padua, Balawan, La Union. College of Physical and Respiratory Therapy. De La Rosa Jonas Dominic Bumanglag, Bacnotan, La Union. Skills Development Institute. Laduan Peter Paul Palabay, San Gabriel, La Union. Padua Victor Ray Makainag, San Juan, La Union. Cerezo Justine Clyde Casuga, San Juan, La Union.
Please raise your right hand and let us recite the Alumni Pledge of Loyalty. I, Charu C. Herrera, a member of the Lorma College's Alumni Association, do hereby solemnly pledge that I will preserve and defend the Constitution and bylaws of this association, so faithfully and conscientiously fulfill the duties and obligations of a member, thereby hold true its philosophy, objectives, and ideals to remain a true and loyal Lormanians at all times, and to consecrate myself to the service of God and humanity. So help me God.
In gratitude to you, my alma mater, I pledge my loyalty to you and your ideals, to perpetually uphold your standards and traditions, and to endeavor to serve my God, my country, and my fellow men to my utmost ability. Mindful that whatever destiny shall bring me, I shall have to live up to your highest and fullest expectations, that I will strive at all times to promote justice, love, and peace among all persons, that I will forever be loyal to the vision, mission, and goals and objectives of my beloved alma mater, the Lorma Colleges, for the glory and honor of God and country. So help me God.